Sofia is one of Europe's oldest capitals and has a storied history of influence by Greeks, Arabs, Jews, and others. While many of the highlights of Sofia revolve around impressive houses of worship, there are also quite a few worthwhile museums. Anyway, many of the buildings you'll see are from the Bulgarian revival in the late 19th century, when the country reclaimed its independence from the Ottomans. On the other hand, Sofia is very safe. It's a very modern and youthful city, with plenty of things to do and explore. We recently spent 2 days in Sofia, a city that we didn't have high expectations for, but that totally surprised us. For that reason, we want to share our weekend in Sofia itinerary so you can enjoy it, too. Here are the best things to do in Sofia. And by the way, it would be very nice if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, to see more videos about wonderful destinations like this one. We begin visiting St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral. The scale of this building will blow you away. Inside Alexander Nevsky Cathedral has room for 10,000 people, and it's the second largest cathedral in the Balkan region. As with a great deal of Sofia's grand architecture, the city's cathedral dates to the 1880s. This was directly after the Ottomans were overthrown and the state of Bulgaria was re-established. It was originally dedicated to the Russian soldiers that lost their lives in the course of this liberation. When you're inside, look up at the ceiling of the main cupola, which has a mural of the Lord God Sabbath. Right next to St. Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, you find the St Sofia Church. It was this church that gave the city of Sofia its name in the 1300s during the Second Bulgarian Empire. This unassuming red brick building goes right back to Byzantine times and was founded in the 500s on top of the ancient city of Serdica's necropolis, as well as an older church from a century before. When you visit, you can see the remnants of this ancient church and the tombs that date back more than 1,500 years. For 2 centuries after the Ottoman invasion, this was a mosque but was abandoned after one earthquake in the 1800s brought the minaret down and another killed the imam's 2 sons. The heart of ancient Serdica and the oldest building in modern Sofia, St George Rotunda Church, was built all the way back in the 300s. It's a wonder that this building has survived unscathed for such an amount of time, and all around are interesting little details that hit home the great age of the site and civilizations that have passed through. Step inside to view the detailed medieval frescoes that had been painted over by the Ottomans when the church was converted to a mosque in the 1600s. These were only rediscovered and restored in the 1990s. Outside you can see the flagstones of a Roman street and other remnants of ancient Serdica. Just nearby St. George Rotunda, you should have a stroll through the Serdica excavations. Long before being named Sofia, the city was actually called Serdica in Roman times. There are impressive excavations to be found in and around the Serdica metro station. And the best part? There is no entrance fee. Certainly one of the most amazing free things to do in Sofia, whether you're on a tight budget or not. How amazing to think that if the metro system had not been expanded, these impressive ruins would have never been excavated. They are very beautifully preserved, and if you walk around for some 15 to 20 minutes you can really imagine yourself being transported back in time. Even if you're not a huge archaeology buff, you will definitely be amazed by the excavations. Across the street, you can visit 2 more amazing attractions. Marvel at Banya Bashi Mosque and admire the Neo-Byzantine style of the central mineral baths complex. Banya Bashi Mosque was designed by Ottoman architect Sinan, considered to be one of the best architects in history. The Ottoman-era mosque is sadly the only mosque still standing in Sofia today. Banya Bashi is from 1576, built at the very beginning of the city's Ottoman period. The name comes from Sofia's mineral baths, which had attracted visitors throughout the region during the 1500s. While its exterior may not be very impressive, the interior is absolutely gorgeous, making the mosque well worth a visit. The tiles are an excellent example of Islamic art. The central mineral bath sits one of Sofia's most photographed buildings, constructed in the Neo-Byzantine style with a large dome behind an impressive vestibule. Sofia has a lot of spring activity, and these waters have drawn visitors since medieval times. The Ottomans developed their own hammam at this site, and when it was destroyed following the Bulgarian revival, a new city bathing complex was built. The central baths date to 1913 and were in use up until the mid-80s. The gardens are open to the public and the fountain at the center is fed by the hot natural mineral water. You're free to try it if you're brave enough. Watch until the end of the video to admire the frescoes of the UNESCO heritage site Boyana Church, and if you haven't already liked the video, It's the right time to like and subscribe to the channel to continue seeing fantastic places like this. Sofia has the largest synagogue in the Balkan region and the third largest in Europe. It was built for Sofia's sizable Sephardic Jewish population in 1909, and Tsar Ferdinand I of Bulgaria was here when it was inaugurated. More than 1,000 people can fit inside this cavernous building, which is in the Moorish revival style inspired by the old Sephardic temple in Vienna, destroyed in 1938. Step inside to see the permanent exhibition about the history of Bulgaria's Jewish communities. It was close on the day we visited. Stop by at St Nicholas Church, also known as Russian Church. Although Alexander Nevsky Cathedral is Bulgaria's landmark, you may fall even more in love with the quaint St Nicholas Church. The Russian church features 5 golden domes and is located in a small green paradise that invites you to spend a little more time. Like Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, it's more impressive on the outside than the inside, but it's still well worth taking a look inside. The little garden that surrounds it also makes for a great resting place in between all that exploring. Be amazed by the history of St Nedelya Church. You would not know this by simply looking at this rather unassuming church from the 10th century, but it has been through some important events in Bulgarian history. For example, it was here that the Bulgarian Communist Party launched an attack in 1925 with 134 immediate deaths plus additional deaths later on. St Nedelya Church had to be rebuilt several times as a result of the destruction it faced. The name literally means Saint Sunday or Holy Sunday. The changing of the guards may not be as elaborate as in some other European capitals, but it's worth a stop nonetheless. The procedure takes place every hour 5 minutes before the hour, meaning that you can easily combine your Sofia sightseeing with a quick stop at the President's office. The President's office is part of an ensemble of 3 buildings collectively known as the Largo. Even if you're not into shopping, you have to make a stop at Vitosha Boulevard during your Sofia sightseeing. As a pedestrianized street, it provides relief from the busy traffic of Bulgaria's capital. Restaurants and cafes invite you to spend some time observing the comings and goings of the boulevard. And if you are into shopping, you will appreciate the numerous shops, especially with souvenirs. If you're still looking for a gift from Bulgaria, consider the world-renowned Bulgarian rose water. You can't visit a city like Sofia and not have a detailed look at some of the communist architecture. You can find many examples of it throughout the city, but one particularly notorious building is the National Palace of Culture, NDK. It's doubtful that you would like the aesthetics, but it's still important to have a look. It is also the top spot for young people in Sofia to meet. The building still functions as an exhibition and conference center and is actually the largest such building in the Balkans. On the lower slopes of Vitosha Mountain is this UNESCO heritage site. The location of this medieval church is almost dreamlike, in a grove of tall softwood trees in a quiet suburb of the city. Boyana Church was built in 3 stages from the 1000s to the 1800s, but the most important additions were made during the Second Bulgarian Empire in the 1200s. This is when the fabulous interior frescoes were painted, depicting some 240 historical and biblical figures in a realistic style 200 years before Renaissance artists were doing the same. The paintings, by an unknown artist, include contemporary portraits of 2 Bulgarian rulers, Tsar Constantine Osan and Tsar Kalayan, next to their wives. Finally, we could not fail to indicate our favorite restaurant. The English name is Contessa, but we leave the link in the description. With family service, genuine and friendly, the dishes we tried were super tasty and well prepared. We chose vegetarian dishes, including tartar soup, stuffed peppers, and dolmas, stuffed grape leaves. Go there, you don't regret it. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Stay healthy and see you soon.